Hey y'all, we're gonna go off on a little bit of a rant today, godlings. Okay, so the city over, they basically criminalize homelessness, right? So you can't be homeless or camping out or whatever, And they're talking about, penalties and fines and locking them up even. And it's understandable, because I guess they're causing problems and leaving trash all over the place, which that's unfortunate. That sucks that happens. But anywho, but people are always down on the homeless, of course. I see this all the time. They're always down on the homeless. And it's funny, in the small little town where I live in, yeah, years ago you might have one or two people kind of drifting, wandering through or around, but there wasn't many homeless. Now there's a lot. I see it all. And it started with the opioid stuff, really. And I see it, it's bad. But people are down on the homeless and they're like talking about their tax dollars. And I'm like, if people are homeless living under a bridge, your money's not going to them. How is that so? And it's funny because I always say this, it's like, and they want to say they have no clue. They have no clue. And if homeless people are going to a place like Catholic Charities or Salvation Army, well, guess what? It's other people's donations that are paying for that, not your tax dollars. Okay. So, and even if someone's getting welfare and sitting in a house and not working, well, yeah, they might not be doing anything, collecting a little bit of money, but they're not getting rich, okay? No one's going to get rich off of welfare. I don't know why people think that. There's so many cockamamie ideas about that. But it's funny because, and I said this before, it's like, I've had jobs where I worked where other people go there and they go to a job, but they don't work. So they're actually collecting welfare and from a fellow employee. So you got this other person working, another person just sitting there smoking and joking. That's what happened in my last job. The dude complaining about welfare or homeless people, and he'd go to the job, but it wouldn't work. He'd walk. This was a community housing for elderly, right, 55 and above. But he would clock in and go sit there and just smoke and joke for drinking coffee for 2 or 3 hours, and then go in the bathroom for another half an hour. So like most of the days, just walk around not doing a goddamn thing. So you want to talk about, paying people welfare? This guy's supposed to be working, and he's getting paid just to sit there and be a resident. It's like, what the hell, man? And it's like most of the time when I go to work, I don't care what other people do. I just go and do my job and forget about it, You can do what you want to do. But I love how people complain about homeless or welfare, and then they go to work and they sit there and don't do anything, and someone else has got to do double time to pick up their slack because they want to sit there and look at their nails or their damn phone all the time. It's ridiculous. These people are down on the homeless. It's like, oh, you think they have it all hunky-dory? I don't know. Sometimes I think that's what these people think. Is just because they don't have to go to work, they got it made. You really think that? Are you envious about that? Because if you're complaining that they don't have to work and they don't just get everything handed to them either, okay? They're homeless. So it just amazes me. It's like, okay, so if you're envious and you think they've got it made in the shade, why don't you go try it? Why don't you go be homeless then? If they got it made in the shade and all grand like that, it's like, I don't know where people get these ideas. They think just because they don't have to go to work every day or pay attention to other responsibilities, that it's all a cakewalk for them. No. Yet you're thinking egocentric thinking. Just because you got a home and your priorities are very different. They don't have to worry about car payments or house payments or, any of that crap. No, you're right. But that doesn't make it easy for them. They have to rely on their own resources, and they're barely surviving, which means that all the stuff you take for granted, they barely can come by, if at all. And when they do, it's rare, and it's probably not much. I've been homeless before, and it's not easy. Just because I didn't have to go to work every day or pay attention to, it was different responsibilities. When you're homeless, that's your job. And you have to worry about feeding yourself. Not every homeless person does, but I worry about keeping clean too. I kept clean. I tried to find jobs where I could. It was very difficult to find jobs, especially if you're homeless. And not too many people want to hire a homeless person. Even if you look halfway decent and stuff. It just is the way it is. So anyway, but I think it's funny when people complain about the homeless when they're living under a bridge, and your tax dollars ain't going for that. It ain't. Your tax dollars are not going for homeless people just sitting under a bridge, okay? Oh, God. But anyway, try again. But, man, it's a bummer. But, and here's the other thing, and I'll leave you with this. You know, people think it's bad right now. People think homelessness is bad right now. I've never seen it the way it is in my town, okay? But people think it's bad right now. Give it a year or two. 3 years, it's probably gonna double. And at least probably 4 to 5 years, I'm going to say the homeless population in America, if not around the world, will double. Okay? And all the people that were sitting pretty before, that were picking on the homeless and welfare and stuff, they're going to be pretty much in the same boat. Not all of them, of course, not all of them, but there's going to be a fair amount more, and that's when the shit's really going to hit the fan, right? You can only have so many people on the freaking streets now, okay? You can only have so many people that are unhoused, than housed, not have jobs, and not have problems occur, okay? So just pay attention to that part. If you think the homelessness is bad right now, wait a few years. It's going to double.